9 News at 9 starts right now.
A storm system is bringing snow to the high country as we speak. Just take a look at this video from Pikes Peak this afternoon. Conditions look like a whiteout at the top of the world's highest cog railway.
Closer to home, it was a gloomy day around the metro. That same storm system will bring an end to Denver's dry spell, but we may not get as much precipitation as we first thought. So let's bring in 9 News meteorologist Chris Bianchi to give us the latest look. It is indeed raining somewhere, right?
It is raining. We've officially picked up 1/100th of an inch of rain out at the airport.
Something?
Officially snapping a dry stretch here in the backyard. We picked up about 100th of an inch of rain as well. Hey, it's free water. We'll take it. We got a bit more to go, but here in the mountains, snowing lightly here at the Eisenhower Johnson Tunnel. Some of those passes, especially Monarch Pass, Hoosier Pass, as well as Vail Pass. Those are going to be your slick spots right now here in the high country. Also, La Vida Pass in southern Colorado, quite slick, as well as Wolf Creek Pass. So some showers around the Denver area, and we're seeing that light rain. Temperatures low to mid-40s, kind of a gloomy evening for us right now, but we officially snapped our dry stretch. 24 consecutive days since it last rained for us in Denver. Tonight, only our second day in the last 40 days, last month plus, that we've had any sort of water falling from the sky. We'll take it, I guess. Though, if you're hoping for a big rain event, well, not a ton of it. We are seeing some showers, some snow showers for us here across southern Colorado. That's where the steadiest snow is. And then further north here through Monument, as well as the Monument Hill area, a few snowflakes for us, and seeing some of that steadier snow for us out by Carbondale. McClure and Monarch Pass is seeing that steadiest snow. Tonight, we drop back into the upper 30s. We'll walk through that full forecast for you and show you when we get our next chance for rain. That's coming up in my full forecast.
A recent burial at a century-old cemetery in Lafayette revealed a problem beneath the surface, one so concerning the city has now stopped coffin burials altogether.
9 News reporter Rhea Jha went to the cemetery where that discovery now has families questioning their burial plans.
The city sent out letters to more than 100 people who own burial plots here at the Lafayette Cemetery. We spoke with one of those people who may now have to change their burial plans.
This here's my mom and dad's plot right here.
Every plot holds a story.
This here's my other tia, born in 28 and died in 1930.
Frank Archuleta doesn't just visit the Lafayette Cemetery.
This is my grandmother, Teresa Espinosa.
He's rooted in it.
My family's been here for 100 years in this town here.
His ending never felt uncertain until last week.
When I got the letter here, I said, well, this ain't right. I said, what if we die? We can't be buried here, you mean?
This letter is from the city of Lafayette. It was sent to people with plots here, notifying them of a moratorium on coffin burials.
They were going to bury somebody else there, and they hid a casket. That's the reason that this whole thing's going on right now.
The state archaeologist came in and discovered they had many overlapping grave sites and unmarked remains.
And that's what triggered this off for the entire cemetery now to get this survey done. They had the responsibility to do all this recording, and they did not record them.
During the moratorium, families can keep their plot for cremation, transfer to another cemetery, or get a refund, none of which is how Frank and his family ever planned it.
This is sacred ground. We want to be buried here, but if somebody dies right now, no.
The city doesn't know how long this moratorium will last, but they're hoping to keep people updated as this process continues. Reporting in Lafayette, Rhea Jha, 9 News.
New tonight, a funeral home down in Pueblo where state inspectors found 24 decaying bodies is at the center of a new lawsuit. Several families are suing the owners of Davis Mortuary, Brian and Chris Cotter, for the gruesome discovery made back on August 20th. CBI says those inspectors smelled a foul odor and found the bodies hidden behind a cardboard display. All of the bodies were brought to the funeral home between 2010 and 2012. So far, 6 of the 24 have been identified. Brian Cotter resigned as county coroner days after the initial discovery. The lawsuit, which seeks a jury trial, also names the owner of the building, the Pueblo Masonic Temple Annex Association. It says the group leased the mortuary property to the brothers and held meetings inside the building.
That smell had to have been overwhelming. And the Masons were not only landlords to the property, but they actually occupied the same building. They were, from what I understand, were on the second and third floor of this building. And for them, to me, it's reasonable to conclude that they had to have smelled these decaying bodies, and nothing was done.
We tried to talk to the Masonic Association, but had difficulty even finding contact information. KRDO, our sister station in Colorado Springs, says they were able to get a hold of them and that they declined to comment. Neither of the owners of the funeral home face charges at this point. CBI is asking for patience as they put together a criminal case and work to identify the rest of those bodies.
In just 24 hours, the Justice Department has done a complete reversal on its position about whether the full grand jury in the James Comey criminal case received the indictment before it was handed up to a federal judge in September. In a court filing today titled Government's Notice Correcting the Record, federal prosecutors said the full grand jury did review the final indictment. In doing so, the Justice Department disputed the argument by Comey's defense team that the indictment was invalid because of the missteps acknowledged in court on Wednesday. Lindsay Halligan, the acting U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia and Colorado native, who had never presented a case before this one, made the admission yesterday. Comey was indicted back in September on charges of lying to Congress related to Senate testimony he gave in 2020. He pleaded not guilty.
The FAA says only 776 of more than 10,000 air traffic controllers who had to work without pay during the shutdown will receive bonuses. The announcement today means thousands without perfect attendance during the shutdown won't receive the bonuses that President Trump suggested. Many controllers called out of work as they dealt with the financial pressure of not getting a paycheck. Some got side jobs, but others simply just couldn't afford the child care or the gas they needed to get to work. Their absences forced delays at airports across the country and led to the government to cut some of their flights at 40 busy airports, including DIA. The minimum wage in Boulder County is set to increase at a slower pace than previously planned. County commissioners made that decision today. The minimum wage was originally set to rise to $25 an hour by the year 2030. That's for unincorporated Boulder County. Farmers and small business owners argued that could drive them out of business altogether. So commissioners decided that starting in 2027, the minimum wage will be dependent on the Consumer Price Index. By 2030, it's now estimated to be at $18.93.
Before construction crews can break ground on the new Broncos Stadium site, the land may need environmental fixes for any spills that contaminated the soil there. The team plans to build its new retractable roof stadium at Burnham Yard. That's an old rail yard. And because of that, experts say the site will need to be tested and possibly remediated.
Diesel engines, diesel locomotives, rail cars that spilled or leaked over the time course of the history of these yards. And that sort of stuff's going to be just sitting in there in the subsurface.
The land the Broncos will likely buy is owned by CDOT. The agency bought it in 2021. We've made attempts to talk to them today about previous tests they've run at that site and how recently they have done them. We do know one test was paid for in 2022.
Denver Mayor Mike Johnson says he's committed to keeping Denver Summit FC Stadium in Denver. The plan is to build the incoming NWSL Stadium near I-25 and Broadway at Santa Fe Yards. But the team threatened to construct it outside of the city this week. That happened days after a city council committee delayed voting on agreements that would put $50 million in city funding for infrastructure improvements around the stadium. Council members cited a lack of specifics and lingering distrust of the mayor. Last night, the mayor was asked about the potential for the stadium to be built elsewhere.
Over my dead body, am I going to let the Summit Stadium leave Denver? We want that site to be here. I'm very confident we're going to work with the City Council, get the questions that they have answered, and we'll move this stadium forward. But we are 100% committed to making sure that stays.
They have to move pretty quickly here. Denver City Council has to approve the financing by the end of this year for the project to proceed on schedule and for the stadium to be built and opened by 2028. Tonight, Coloradans are remembering transgender lives lost to violence.
It's the Transgender Day of Remembrance. 9 News reporter Colton Chavez joins us after attending an event at the Metropolitan Community Church of the Rockies. Colton.
Yeah, Phil. And so it was a powerful evening where dozens gathered not just to mourn, but to rally for support around the community. Now, the event included a solidarity walk through the church's surrounding neighborhood. Back inside the church, people in attendance had the chance to share their own personal struggles and pray for the people that they've lost. Organizers say the Metropolitan Community Church of the Rockies has long been part of the fabric of Denver's LGBTQ+ community, making it a fitting place to remember those lost and call for change.
It's important that we speak out, and today is important because the people that were taken are silenced, but we're not.
A recent report by the LGBTQ+ nonprofit GLAAD found a 14% increase in violence against transgender people nationwide from May of 2024 to May of this year. Organizers tonight hope that those who attended tonight will use their own privilege to make an impact and continue to speak out for those who have been silenced. Colton Chavez, 9 News.